I've been asked how I straighten and centre art gallery paintings for the erasedculture videos. This is not a tutorial, it's just how I do it. There are bound to be much better ways than mine. First, I'm going to get rid of the gallery notes, so M for the rectangular marquee tool. If you are in the elliptical marquee tool, you can hold down Shift and M. And in the corner here you can see, holding down Shift and pressing M, it will circle through the two tools. I'm going to make a quick selection. It doesn't have to be perfect. And now we're going to use the patch tool. Press J for the patch tool. The same as the marquee tool. If you hold down Shift and J, it will circle through all the other tools on that button. We want the patch tool. Patch tool selected, left click, hold down Shift to constrain, and then just drag above your original selection and let go. Control D to remove the selection, and that's cleared the gallery notes off. Next, I want to clear this distraction on the left hand side. We're going to go M for the marquee, rectangular marquee tool again, make a selection, Control J to make a new layer, Control T for the transform tool and to transform the layer. Now I want it to snap to the document bounds, so we're going to make sure snaps on. So we go to view, snaps not on, so we'll turn that on. If you want the keyboard shortcut, it's Control Shift colon. So we'll just transform this. We're happy with that. Control Enter will commit the transform, and we can merge this layer down, Control E. Next, we're going to grab some guidelines onto the document so we can square the actual painting up. We want to make sure we're in the Move tool, so V, and we're going to drag the guides down from the rulers. If the rulers aren't showing, you can press Control R. When you've got your rulers showing, just click anywhere in the rulers and drag it down. Don't drag too close. I'll show you why later. And now we need to zoom in, Control plus on the keyboard, and the idea is to drag the guides to the highest point of the painting, highest corners, and you'll see when we move it, it actually leaves the line where it was, and if you get too close it can be confusing, so give yourself a little bit of space. Drag that one there. Don't have to be perfect. Having set all your guides up, we now need to make this into a layer. You can do this two ways. You can double click and then rename it if you wish. I'm not going to do that. I just click the padlock and that makes it a layer straight away. We're going to press Control T for the transform tool again. I'm going to right click anywhere on the document and choose distort. At this point you want to make sure you haven't got snap on, because if you do, it sometimes snaps where you don't want it to and won't allow you to get right into the corners there. So we'll just check and snaps on, so we can click there or Control Shift colon, and we'll start to drag into place. You'll find when you drag the document about, it will affect the other corners and you have to go back in and change them sometimes. At the top here you can see a guideline. Having dragged that top corner, we've gone too high for that guideline. We'll move the guidelines in a second. Let's just move this corner. And I have been using the sliders, but if you just hold down the space key, it turns into the pan tool and you can drag the document about. Again, you can see it's gone over the lines there, but we need to move the guideline, so Control Enter to commit the transform, and then we're going to reposition the guidelines. A little bit tedious, and again you'll see it's left an imprint of where the original line was, so always drag it further away than you think you should be so you don't get confused. Bottom guide's near enough, right side's near enough, top one needs moving. Control T for the transform tool, right click, left click on distort, space bar for the pan tool, drag it so you can see. And there we can see that's near enough for my needs. Control Enter to commit, Control 0 so you can see the whole document again, and now we want snap on because we're going to do a marquee select where the guides are, so Control Shift colon for snap, M for your rectangular marquee tool, make a selection. We want to expand the selection. You can do this two ways. You can go to Select, Modify, Expand, and we'll say 150 pixels, that's fine. Now you'll see 150 is too much because we've gone beyond the document bounds, but also you'll see that it squares off, it rounds off the edges. Okay, it rounds off the edges. And we don't want it to do that, so we'll just go Control Alt Z till we get back, start steps us back multiple steps, and now we've got the original selection, and I'm going to click Select and Transform Selection. Here you can change the percentage of the selection and expand it without having any squared off, rounded off corners. We'll go 200 for the width, and then the height 107. You can see I'm making sure I don't go beyond the bounds of the document. Control Enter to commit. I'm going to put a feather on that selection. Select, modify, feather. 5 pixel feather is fine. Okay. Control J to make a new layer, and you can also get rid of the guidelines, so View and clear guidelines. It doesn't seem to be a preset keyboard shortcut for this. Now we're going to center the picture, V for the move tool, and Control A to select everything, and you'll see we can now center that layer. If I deselect, Control D, the centering tools go away. So if you select everything, that allows you to center. Control D to deselect, and then I'm just going to make sure that there are no nasty edges by turning the layer off and on. And as it's a white background and there's very little shadow, you can see there are no lines anywhere. And then we can merge, so layer, flatten image, and there's the file ready to use in a video.